Hi, I'm Emily Hargrave and welcome back to Prime. 'Tis the season for fashion and we have one of Dallas's brightest designers with us. Paulette Martsolf is not only a fantastic designer, but she also runs the longest running ladies boutique in Snyder Plaza, Allie-Coosh. She is here with us today to tell us about how you came into the design world and how you were 20 years later still creating a niche in the fashion world of Dallas.
It's been amazing. Thank you for having me. It's been incredible. Originally, I'm from Newfoundland, and just as a little girl, I loved fashion. Never dreamt that it could be a possible career path for me. And it wasn't until later in life that I was able to go to design school. I ended up living in Toronto, where there were some of the best design schools in Canada. And I studied fashion design, and it was like my life began at that.
Isn't that wonderful?
Absolutely. I just love what I do. It's been it's such a passion for me, and it's been quite a journey. I'm in Snyder Plaza. I have been there now for 20 years.
Amazing.
And
so what you will have seen through those 20 years of people coming and going through Snyder Plaza.
Yes, yeah.
It's
been, and it's a good thing I was young and naive at the time, because I don't know, looking back, if it's just interesting how things evolve.
Isn't it?
And yeah.
But then, you know, the crystal ball would be a wonderful thing, but really, we don't want the crystal ball.
We don't.
Otherwise, it takes the excitement and the adventure out of that evolution.
It does.
And so, from growing up in Newfoundland, which really is not known for its being a fashion part of the world, is it? Exactly. So, what was it that really inspired you?
Me. It's interesting. I was just, as a little girl, I would just watch TV, and we were very limited at that point what TV channels we got.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And I would just watch all those beautiful gowns, and it just captivated me. And I started making things for myself. I literally made all of my own clothing. And it was just, I was always in a little dream world with fashion. And I made a lot of clothes for my friends, but never, ever dreamt that it could possibly be a career path. And really, given the environment I was in at the time, there really wouldn't have been any opportunity for me to make it a career.
So did it turn into a career after design school and once you moved to Texas?
Yes. After design school, I started my own line of pajamas. So that's where the name Allie-Coosh came from. Allie-Coosh is a slang word in Newfoundland that means go to bed.
Oh, interesting.
Derived from French. So I started this pajama line under the name Allie-Coosh. And it was, I used very cozy fabrics, flannel, very warm fabrics that were appropriate in that environment, and just gave it a very dressy twist. I sold it through home parties and just really created quite a following. And so when I eventually moved to Dallas, first when I opened the store in Snyder Plaza, I still had the pajamas.
And do you still have them today? And
I don't, and I have requests for them, but I've been so covered with my day wear career, my evening now I've really branched into formal, and then I started my jewelry line, so it's just like, there's no time.
Yeah, there's only so many hours in the day that you can be designing.
Yes.
But isn't it wonderful the fact that you can launch from pajamas into, I mean, these exquisite pieces that we have behind you.
It is, and I think one of the things that I've stayed very true to, I believe in comfort in my clothing, and I think we all present ourselves better if we're comfortable.
Absolutely.
And even when I translate it into my gowns, I always ensure that it feels good next to your skin.
So fabric is hugely important to you.
Hugely.
So how do you go out and source the fabric? Is it something that is it a constant search?
Constant.
And where do you look?
I really get fabrics from all over the world, but in my 20 years, I've made so many contacts now that I have people who send me swatches all the time. They kind of know the sorts of things that I'm looking for. I do like to get out at least twice a year, though, so I can get to the markets and see the trends. One of the things that over the years I've kind of come up with my own signature fabric, and this is something that's really become my bread and butter, and it's a fabric that I get custom made. It's
is it a blend?
It is exclusive to Allie-Coosh, and our clients absolutely love it. Washable, packable.
That's, you see.
And it's reversible, so I use the same fabric and incorporate it into my evening wear as well as the day wear. So it's really a multi-purpose kind of fabric. It's really been phenomenal. It took me a while to get sort of the right combination, but the fiber is terrific.
Oh, isn't that wonderful when you find it and you think,
Yes.
and you get the feedback from your clients that they love it.
They love it. They love it. It has presented one of the challenges for me of being a small business in that my quantities are very high with this fabric.
Right.
So every time I order it, I have to order this minimum, which is really quite large for me. So in our warehouse, I say to my husband, my retirement plan is there in the signature fabric. But it's such a wonderful fabric, and every time I invest in it, we sell through. So
That's well, I have to come and
you
feel
have
the
to
fabric.
come
I
check
will.
that out.
I will. Well, so tell me about what we have behind you. So, a beautiful day look.
Yes.
On the right.
Yes, and actually, it's the signature fabric. That's a dress that she's wearing underneath, and that is in the signature fabric. And then this is a faux leather. Faux leather is very in
I hear it's
trend
very. I hear
now.
that. Yes.
So I have faux leather in about 6 different colors. So one of the beautiful things about Allie-Coosh is a client can come in and they can buy right off the floor. But they can also come in and say, ooh, I love that red, but I don't like that jacket style. So we can do that jacket in a different
So you can just make it up for them.
shape. Or I love that style, but that color doesn't work for me. So I make sure I have colors that work for all skin types.
So how long would that take to put a jacket together like that?
Well, we have a wonderful workshop where people are cutting and sewing, so we've been known to turn things around in 24 hours.
Have you really?
People.
That's amazing.
Now, that's not kind of typical.
That's if you really needed it.
Right.
Yeah.
We generally say on custom orders 2 weeks, but we've often turned things around very quickly when somebody's needed something.
I mean, it looks so chic. It's so chic and but yet comfortable.
Yes, and that particular jacket, I have it belted, but it's actually a swing jacket. So without the belt, it just has a real free-flowing feel to it. So
you get 2 looks.
You get 2 looks, and the clothes really work for a lot of different figure types.
Really, it's gorgeous, and I love that color. It's a beautiful, beautiful color.
Great color.
And of course, this. Oh my gosh! I mean, she just is exquisite. In her gold.
Yes, this was part of, this dress was part of something that was one of the most magical evenings of my career.
It was?
Yes. I was invited to be a part of opening night for the opera, which was a red carpet event. They call it First Night. And my job was to dress Aida's entourage, which would be 4 ladies.
This was last year, in 2000?
This year.
Oh, was it this year?
Yes, just a month ago.
Oh, wow.
And I had this gown I made for myself, and then I had 3 other beautiful gals that I dressed in. All 4 of the dresses really worked together. There was a cohesiveness. They wanted one designer to do all 4 to get that continuity of the look. And it was, the whole event was just fabulous.
Was it really?
Yes.
I mean, isn't that wonderful, 20 years into your career, that you can say, this is one of the most magical evenings that I've had?
I mean, that That is amazing.
It is. I mean, it really, to be able to
Yes.
continue having that magic brought into your life and into your work it just keeps it fresh, and I mean, it's so special.
It does, and that's, I sort of feel about my work that whenever I'm not pushing myself or I'm not a little bit anxious about it, then I'm not trying hard enough. And I just always love to explore what's just around the corner and something new all the time.
Did you find the same with your jewelry line too?
Absolutely. And this was such a new thing. This came about as a result. I used to carry a lot of art jewelry, and a lot of it was pretty high end. And with the downturn in the economy, I just found that people weren't really investing in that type of jewelry so much anymore. As much as I supported the artists, I just loved the work that they did. So then I decided, well, let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
And I truly had never done anything in terms of designing jewelry. And it just really was a lot of fun.
So did you just put this together by yourself?
Well, what I do, in the beginning, I worked on things myself, but now I have an incredible young woman who works with me in the workshop. We are so in sync. She's incredible. And so I'll put together the findings, the stones I want to use, and then we'll talk about it, and she'll start to assemble part of it, and I'll come look, and then we'll talk, and so it sort of evolves.
It's how long would these take to put together? Because
it's interesting because when we do the first one, it's a little bit of this talk back and forth,
Sure.
and none of them are ever exactly the same. But this concept right here, I then translated this concept into a number of different materials. So the first one, maybe half a day.
Oh, that's.
And then after that, I'd say, general, we can do 2 to 3 a day.
Wow,
probably.
it's a bit, I mean, there's a lot that, I mean, these are works of art just in themselves, aren't they?
I know, that's what's so wonderful with the jewelry. It's just, and that's what I want it to be. I want it to be artful.
I know. Well, Paulette, I mean, I want to literally go and, I want to go and adorn myself right now. It is. I mean, it's an inspiration seeing all of this. It truly is.
Thank you.
And so you just, and the one that you have around your neck is amazing too.
And this is fun because we made little loops out of leather. So it's interesting. I have this warehouse that's full of all these fabrics and all these findings, and my favorite time to be there is at night when nobody's around, and I start pulling things out, and I just get excited, and all these ideas start to come to me.
Well, I mean, having you as the lady at the helm and being an inspiration, I mean, that's just must be an inspiration to your clients. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your passion and your talent with us. It's really, it's very special. So,
thank you.
Allie, you need to go Allie-Coosh, and then what's the website?
www.allie-coosh.com.
So I will be there at Snyder Plaza trying on these beautiful, well, once I finish being pregnant, but I can buy the jewelry. But thank you for joining us, and join us next time on Prime TV, Facebook, Twitter. Bye-bye.